Hey guys, welcome to another video. So we have already spoken about ICAO, and I would like to remind you that the full form of ICAO is International Civil Aviation Organization. Now I keep repeating this again and again because this question has been asked again and again in the DGCA exams, and what they do is they jumble up words here and there, and people tend to get confused. So I hope that doesn't happen to you. It is International Civil Aviation Organization. And one other thing that I have been looking in the most common book that we all refer to, which is R.K. Bali, is the date when basically the ICAO was formed. The date is 7th December 1944. So we all know that ICAO is an organization that operates under UN, right? United Nations. Now, ICAO has 193 nations as members. This is also something that we discussed, and there's also a number that you should remember, right? So now today we'll be talking about conventions. Now, what is a convention? Convention is like a meeting basically where all the nations come together and they meet and talk about pressing issues. Now, when it comes to us, when it comes to you and me, conventions that we'll be talking about would be related to aviation. Now, the first convention that really, there has been a lot of conventions under the UN, but this convention under the UN, which really spoke about aviation, was the Paris Convention in 1917, and it was held to regulate air navigation with particular attention to sovereignty, airworthiness, competence of aircrew, definitions, etc. So the basic framework of aviation was can be said to be done in the Paris Convention 1917. If you notice, R.K. Bali also, the first thing that you will ever notice in R.K. Bali is Paris Convention, right? So, and the second most important convention that you have to remember is Chicago Convention, which is in 1944. Now, why is it important? It is important because the ICAO was formed in 1944 during the Chicago Convention. Now, it says that Chicago Convention, consisting of 96 articles, was signed on 7th December 1944. Right? India has ratified this convention and some important articles which we'll be talking about in the near future. Right? So there's also something that I saw, in on the website. So, Convention on International Civil Aviation, also known as Chicago Convention, was signed on 7 December 1944, and it was signed by 52 states. At that point of time, ICAO had only 52 members, and India was a part of it. And also, members kept on adding, and as on today, it's 193, right? So the first, and now when it comes to conventions, they constantly are talking about something called as articles, right? Articles is nothing but topics that were discussed at that point of time. And so for example, Article 1 was sovereignty. Now they are saying that 96 articles that were discussed and also documented in Chicago Convention 1944, out of which we will be covering a few that is important for your exams. Right? All 96 may be not important, but I'll keep looking, and if it is necessary, I will update. So Article 1 was sovereignty, which means that, and I'll of course have to read the exact wordings of it because it all has legal implications. The contracting states recognize that every state has complete and exclusive sovereignty over their airspace above its territory. So they're basically saying that, for example, India has complete right over Indian airspace. That's what they're saying. Now, Article 2, Territory. For the purpose of this convention, the territory of a state shall be deemed to be the land areas and territorial waters adjacent thereto under the sovereignty, suzerainty, protection, or mandate of such state. So they're basically saying that the terrain, if you look at the classes that are coming ahead, we'll be talking about FIRs and all these things, which are flight information regions. It kind of demarcates all the territory that India owns, right? In this particular case, we are only talking about India, so you will kind of notice the importance of territory when it comes to aviation. Article 3 talks about civil and state aircraft. The convention shall be applicable only to civil aircraft and shall not be applicable to state aircraft. State aircraft is basically defense aircraft or military aircraft. Aircraft used in military, customs, and police services shall be deemed to be state aircraft, like I just mentioned, right? So Article 1 was sovereignty, Article 2 was about territory, and Article 3 is about civil and state aircraft, right? They are when it comes to civil and state aircraft, they are also saying that no state aircraft of a contracting state shall fly over the territory of another state or land thereon without authorization by special agreement or otherwise and in accordance with terms thereof. So what they are trying to say is our military aircraft shall not fly over another country's airspace unless, of course, they are in maybe war, or in this particular case they're not following the rules of this convention or guidelines of this convention, or if they have prior agreement with the other country. The contracting states undertake, when issuing regulations for their state aircraft, that they will due regard for the safety of navigation of civil aircraft. So basically they are saying that the countries that are basically operating an aircraft has the responsibility that all aviation is all flying basically is held in a safe manner. So basically in our case, the central government, DGCA, all these organizations are responsible for the safety of each and every aircraft flying in India, right? Article 4 is misuse of civil aviation. Each contracting state agrees not to use civil aviation for any purpose inconsistent with the aims of this convention. So basically they are saying that all the aircraft, the civil aircrafts, shall be used in a safe and efficient manner and not in any legal activities, basically, right? So that is it. That is it for Article 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this comes under air navigation, the section of air navigation. Further, we'll be talking about more articles in the coming videos. Thank you. Good day.